It's day number 100 of this atrocious invasion of Ukraine by Russia. It's 100 days of suffering, 100 days of people having to flee away from their own homes. And this is exactly why we're doing this. Tonight we've got a fantastic presentation coming up, like other nights of hugely high quality. A little bit more about that later on. But firstly, I would like to introduce one of our colleagues, also a specialist, Dr. Alison Moores. She is a board certified surgeon, and she's not here to talk to us about what fantastic work she does during working hours, but she's here to talk to us about something differently fantastic that she and her family are doing just now. So, Paolo, if we can have Alison join us in the studio tonight. Hello, welcome, Alison.
Hi there, Stein. Thank you.
And thank you very much for contacting us just 20 minutes before this live broadcast. And that's just how we like it. So you sent us a message because you wanted to share your story, hopefully encouraging and stimulating others to do something fantastically similar as what you are doing. Because tell us, what's happening in your house at this moment in time?
Yeah, so I've been hosting a Ukrainian family for the last month, and I was prompted by just at the vital moment I lose my signal.
We can still hear you, Alison.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got spinning things. So good job.
Yeah, but it's going amazingly well. So keep talking.
I'm going to keep talking. So tell me if you can't hear me. Yeah. So
yes.
So I was looking at the pictures on the internet and just reminding myself about how bad things are, because I think it's very easy to not notice what's going on, particularly with some of the news moving to what's happening at home. And I've realised that it's been 100 days, and the city of Kharkiv, where my family comes from, has only had 2 days without some sort of shelling or bombing or rockets or dreadful things happening. And there's a lot of people still in Ukraine who want to leave. Facebook is covered with requests from families saying, please, can you take us? We're scared. We've lost our homes. And I realised, talking to people, that a lot of people are either daunted by the prospect of hosting and haven't jumped into it yet, or they don't know where to find a family, or they can't host but don't know what else they can do. So we decided quite early on that we would want to host, and we went to a talk in the local church where people who were running the meeting said they would help us link with a family, and it just didn't happen. And after, I think it was probably 6 weeks, actually we'd become a bit immune to the war because we were seeing the same things. I wasn't following it as closely. And I suddenly thought, do you know what, I need to do something.
Yeah.
And I saw a link on Facebook to a site for people trying to match families in England with families in Ukraine. And I answered a post from a random lady on there. Actually, turns out that she's a client of the practice, as these things often happen.
It's a small world.
Matched me to a family that night. And the only question they asked was, do you have schools? And we chatted via Google Translate on Messenger, swapped a few messages, and we did that for about 2 hours. Later that night, I said, do you want to come? And by the next morning, I had a message, and this chap just sent me all the documents for his family. So he sent passports and birth certificates, all of his financial records.
By an email or?
Just by Messenger. So he sent me everything about his family, and then sent me his family. So it took us, it was really quick actually, it took 6 days for us to get the visa. The visa process was pretty easy once I'd figured it out. They were still in Ukraine. They were in a slightly safer part, but as they say, nowhere safe.
Yeah.
And they left a week and a half later, and we joined a little a Life 360 group so we could see what each other was doing. And I watched them watch the little dot moving across Ukraine on a bus. And I found it really difficult. I watched them go around Kyiv and past places that I thought were quite dangerous. And it took them 30 hours on a bus to get to the Polish border. It took them 48 hours to arrive in the UK. And I've seen lots of pictures of people meeting their families at the airport and lots of really fun selfies. And it's not like that for everyone. So some families are distraught because they're leaving behind husbands and fathers. They're walking away from friends and family members who died. Sorry?
And this particular, so it's a mum and a child. So are they leaving people behind?
Yeah. So men cannot leave Ukraine unless they're older than 60 or have 3 or more children. So women are coming to keep their children safe because they're afraid they're going to die or see things that children shouldn't see. And they don't want to be here. They just want to go home. I know some people are nervous that they're going to be the sort of refugees who want to come and stay forever. And, you know, that's a different topic altogether. But they are women who are afraid for their children, who are afraid to leave their husbands behind. They're terrified of their husbands behind, some of whom are fighting, but they just want to keep their children safe and to have a normal life. And it's amazing.
Yeah, if you truly put yourself into their shoes, if you really genuinely put effort into thinking about what they would be thinking whilst getting on a bus, driving away from your hometown, from your family, to you don't know even to where, then if you really put yourself in that position, then I think you understand a slight bit what's going on there, and not even the complete picture.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't know who we were. I sent a photo to show who we were, and that was the extent of what they knew of us. They knew nothing, but they put their trust in us. And for us, it's been a wonderful experience. I can see that we're generation. I know that we're all struggling those doors, and I know they're upset and it's a struggle, but it's not difficult for us. And when it is difficult, I try to remember that is live with some extra people in my house who they might annoy me, and that's the worst that's going to happen. But I haven't fled a war zone, and I have a home. And for some people, there's no home to go back to.
Yeah.
So I think really I wanted to come on and say a few things. Is that firstly, if anyone is struggling to match with a Ukrainian family, people are very welcome to get in touch with me, and I can talk through how to do it. The second is it's very easy to live with people who are displaced if we think about how it's harder for them. You know, we've lots of space in the house, but our dinner times are one conversation in Russian, one conversation in English. The mum in my family, she looks after her kids, I look after mine, but we're doing it in parallel. We cook together, we eat together, we spend time together. It's really very nice. And I hope they'll go home, and I hope they'll go home soon, because it would be lovely for the war to end. But I've gone into this thinking it may well be a year rather than 6 months. I hope it's not any longer for their sake. But it's just really nice to make the difference. And if you've got the space, you can make the difference to one person or 2 or 3 people. And if you can't manage it, then you could potentially find someone else who's hosting and ask them what you can do to help them. So I've had people dropping in some meals and some bikes and all sorts of things just to make it a little bit easier for us.
Yeah. So in fact, what you're saying is that it in fact is enriching your life, and perhaps your own family is realizing how lucky we are in our safe houses, in our safe countries as well, more than ever before.
Yeah, I mean, I said my kids from the outset, rather than giving them the choice, I told them I wanted to do this and said to them, this is something that you'll look back on when you're older and say that you did your bit for humanity. But also they're fun. It's been a long time since I've had a 5-year-old in the house. It's great fun, keeping us young, keeping us entertained. Yeah, it's definitely enriched our lives. Yeah. Not every day, it's not perfect.
In one line, so we have Paolo, our marketing creative director star, who can always make a nice a video out of what we say here. So if you can give us one or two lines, if you would call out to people listening in, watching in Europe, in the rest of the UK, anywhere really, how could you recommend more doing this, making the active decision of hosting a Ukrainian family? What would you say? Why should we be doing this?
Cool, I wish I'd thought to prepare this. I think it for me was just to make a difference and to walk in someone else's shoes. And if I was there, I would hope someone would open the door and offer me a little bit of safety for a while, and safety for my children, because that's what I see the mothers doing, is trying to stop their children seeing what they've been seeing, and also there are children who are dying still in Ukraine. There are civilian children who are still being killed this week, last week, and if we can get some of those children to safety, we might save some lives.
Yeah, and isn't that an honor to be able to be part of, right? To make it life-changing difference for these very unfortunate people. And like you said before, I mean, it could well be that within our generation we will be in that situation. We'll be highly dependent on somebody else, just saying, I don't care about the fact that I've got a few more people sitting at the kitchen table. I don't care having to wait for the shower a little bit longer, because actually I'm helping people and saving lives in the process. So thanks very much, Alison. Daniela has joined us as well. Daniela, welcome.
Hello. Sorry I was late today. I was in the motorway. Hi, Alison. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Stein, for taking lead of this, I think, 25th episode of That's for Ukraine 2022. And I was listening, very interested, because what you are doing, Alison, is amazing. So is more and more people should do this if they have the possibility. I know in Europe they are doing this. I have friends that are doing this. Probably, I think it might be a bit easier considering the visa and all this. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying something that doesn't make sense. But anyway, this what Alison is doing is great, and this adds to what, just to say that everyone can do something, everyone can make the difference, even from the very small everyday actions to more greater things. So and by now, with our campaign, with our fundraising, we are at 13,297, thanks to the donations that arrive from Matteo's live webinar, which was very successful. So now we just need £3 to reach the 13,300, but even we would like to reach the 13,500 actually. And today we have a great speaker. Is an internal medicine specialist, is Jaisa Forcada, and she will talk about cats and IBD, if there is any alternative to steroids.